chapter 2, verse 190, and it reads, "And fight in the way of Allah with those who fight with you, and do not exceed the limits. Surely Allah does not love those who exceed the limits." So, David, Sam, what's up with this verse?
Oh, I can tell you exactly what's up with it, right?
Yeah.
You guys keep running around telling everyone that Islam promotes jihad and terror against unbelievers. But
He does.
What does this say?
I don't.
Yeah, what does this say? Fight those who fight with you.
That's right.
Fight those who fight with you. What does that mean? It means that this is about self-defense. Who objects to self-defense? Who says, oh, these people are fighting you, but you can't fight back, right? So Islam is all about self-defense. And so for you guys saying that ISIS and Al-Shabaab and all these other terrorist organizations, the Taliban that are going around conquering people, that's not self-defense.
These guys don't even know Islam, actually.
Yeah, so you have it right there in the Quran, clear as day. Fight those who fight you. I don't know how Allah can make it any clearer. This is about self-defense.
That's right.
So what's our response? Well, number one, there are 3 stages to the implementation of the Islamic rule. 3 stages or 3 phases in Muhammad's life.
Yeah.
The first stage, the first phase is where Muhammad found himself outnumbered by the unbelievers in Mecca. He was in Mecca, he was a minority. The unbelievers outnumbered him greatly. They had all the military prowess, they had all the resources. So during that stage, that phase, Muhammad taught peaceful coexistence and tolerating one another. To you, your religion, to me, mine. Then he migrates to Medina, and it's not a coincidence that even the Muslim sources say that when he migrates to Medina and becomes the head of state there, because the pagans there had heard of Muhammad and told Muhammad, you know what? We want to submit to your religion and we invite you to come and rule over us. There are also Jews living there, but the Arab pagans converted to Islam en masse. So he now becomes the head of state. He now becomes a ruler over a particular piece of land, and all the pagans are now Muslims under his authority to do what he commands. And it's not a coincidence that, according to Muslim sources, that's when such verses as the one we read were sent down. Convenient, isn't it? Right. Now he's given the authority to implement the second stage of what has always been in his heart, in his mind, to eventually control all of the Arabian Peninsula and bring them under his rule. So now it's stage 2, the self-defense stage, the self-defense phase, where now, since they oppressed you, since they attacked you, you have every right to attack them in return and oppress them tit for tat, eye for an eye. But another thing that needs to be remembered during this phase is that Muhammad would send his Muslim jihadists, his Muslim hordes, on expeditions where they would rob caravans. And the justification, well, you know what? They drove us out of our homes, they took our properties, and that's what they deserve. So that's the justification for raiding caravans and robbing caravans. So this is now stage 2. So these verses were composed in the beginning period of Muhammad's rule in Medina. Yeah. But if you continue reading, after he's now subjugated Mecca, after he's brought all the pagans under his rule, his authority, then he implements the third phase, the third stage of jihad, which is the verse that we looked at in the previous session, chapter 9, verse 29. Now that you have enough jihadists, you have enough soldiers, and the entire Arabian Peninsula, all its resources under your control, now go and subjugate the entire world for Allah and His Messenger. Go and subjugate people who have not heard of you, let alone threaten you, and attack them until they become Muslim, or if they're Jews and Christians, pay the jizya, and their only crime is they don't believe the way you do. So these are the 3 phases, the 3 stages of implementing Islamic rule universally. So this needs to be taken into consideration. Stage 1, phase 1. Stage 2, phase 2. Stage 3, phase 3. And once you understand that, then you understand the modern Muslim mindset, particularly of those so-called terrorist groups like ISIS. They're perfectly implementing, following the example of Muhammad and how Muhammad reacted and what Muhammad did, depending on what stage Muhammad found himself in.
I just wanted to add one source because we're mentioning articles on the different stages of jihad. I wanted to point out that even you can find Muslim scholars laying this out. And one easy place to find it in the English translation, the Darussalam edition of Sahih al-Bukhari, at the very end of the entire series. So after volume, at the end of volume 9, there's an article there by Ibn Humayd, who, until he died a couple decades ago, was the Chief Justice of Saudi Arabia and the Imam at the Grand Mosque, right, in Mecca. So it doesn't get much higher than that in Islam. But there's an article by him, and he's explaining how you reconcile these different commands in the Muslim sources. And he doesn't break it down into 3 stages, he breaks it down into 4 stages. So the first stage is, hey, when Muslims are completely outnumbered. Then he has the defensive jihad stage, he splits into 2. He says one where you're allowed to fight in self-defense, but you don't have to, and then where you're obligated to fight in self-defense of the Muslim community. So he breaks those into 2 stages, and then the final stage is offensive jihad, when you're actually going out and subjugating. So this is not something that we're making up. This comes from Muslims. We are repeating it and explaining it for people.
That's right.
That's right.
Jesus Christ is the only way, the truth, and life. The only way to the Father is through Jesus. If you don't know Jesus, you don't know God. Come to Christ today. Come to Jesus today. He can save, he can heal. He's there for you. Come to Jesus.